Okay, guys, so we are going to talk about what your value is. So I will be honest, this is not what I wanted to talk about today. I was trying to force myself to talk about something else, and things kept coming up that told me to talk about this because I feel like I've kind of already touched on this. So if some of this sounds repetitive, I apologize. But the reason that I ask you guys where does it come from? Like when you're doubting your value and your self-worth, like when I go read that makes me really sad actually to read that board. So I don't know who it is in this room and I don't know why, but this is what we're talking about today because something over and over and over has put this in front of my face in the last 24 hours. So we're going to talk today about what your value is and where that comes from and where it doesn't come from. So, okay, so first thing, I'm going to try to get you guys to interact a little bit. So what are some limiting beliefs, okay, surrounding where a person's worth or self-worth or value would come from? Limiting beliefs. Lack of experience, all right.
Lack of education.
Lack of education. Upbringing. How you dress. What else? Time. Okay. What else?
You're already busy.
Okay. You're already busy? I'm sorry?
I said your schedule.
Your schedule? Okay. Okay, let's get off of, y'all are so trained to talk about real estate. Get off of your business for a second and talk about you. Just you. Okay. Everybody in the room was thinking that. Okay. Okay, so what went on in your childhood? What else?
I'm too young, I'm too old.
Age, 100%. Yep. Okay, how you look. Yep. Okay. All right, so let's look at the lies. So we probably covered some of these just now. Okay. So your salary. Does your salary make you valuable? Does that bring you value? No. Your job title. For my people that can only think about real estate, your production numbers, awards, recognition, social media likes, your appearance. We talked about some of these. What about your vehicle? I got a great car. Does that add value? Does that make me valuable? Not your car. Because your car.
My car's so bad.
That thing. Okay. Okay, so guys, it doesn't mean that some things on this list aren't great to have, but does that actually make you a valuable person, human? No, it doesn't. Okay? Okay, so those beliefs sink in so deeply that we start trying to tie that into our identity. That's not, guys, those things have nothing to do with your value as a human being, as a person. Nothing. Nothing. These things, no. That's not where your value comes from. Okay? So let's talk about the truth. The truth is that your value comes from who you are as a person. Okay? Not what you produce. Not what possessions you own, not your job title, and not what other people think about you. That's not where your value comes from. Okay, so I want to try to get this into y'all's head today. So let's talk about the truth. Where does it actually come from? Your integrity? Would you say that how you treat people? Is that who you are, right? That adds value. Your character, your kindness, if you show up when it matters. These are the kind of things that actually add value. Who are you when nobody's looking? That's your value, guys. That's what adds value, okay? That's where your self-worth sits, not in the things that you own or your job title or any of those things, okay? So you will never outperform the way you see yourself. I want to let that sink in for a second because when I was trying to come up with stuff today, that was like so powerful to me. You will never outperform the way you see yourself. And I talked about this last month a little bit, about your confidence and the way you speak to yourself, okay? You're never going to reach your potential until you understand that your value is not something you earn, guys. You already have it. Your value you already have. It doesn't mean that you can't lift your value. You can. You can start treating people better. You can show up more. You can be a better person. But your value is not going to rise by making more money, by getting a better job title, by getting a cooler car. It's not going to rise by any of those things, okay? So think about that. All right. So when you truly understand your worth, the world around you changes because just like iron sharpens iron, guys, value attracts value in all areas of your life. So if you are walking around being a good person, the universe is going to throw you good things. I genuinely believe that. It is. And if you walk around being a crappy person, what's going to happen? Everything in your day, oh, I'm having one of those days. Everything's horrible today. It's not that everything's horrible, guys. It's your mindset. Okay, it's your mindset. So, all right, so let me ask you guys this. All right. How much is this worth?
Good job.
How much is this worth?
Our conspiracy theorist is here.
How much is it? $100? It's $100.
Not much.
Not much. Not today. Can everybody agree that this is $100? It's $100. This bill is worth $100. Yeah? Okay. What about now? How much is it worth now? How many people in the room have felt like this?
Yes.
Lots of people have felt like this. Did it change your worth? Did it change the $100 bill's worth? If I offered you the crispy one or I offered you this one, would you take it? Because it's still worth $100. Yeah? Okay. What about now? It's still worth $100? Okay. What about now? Why? Why is it still worth $100? We could tape it, guys. We could tape it back together. How many people in this room have felt like this at some point recently, probably? How many people have felt like this? When you start doing this, guys, when you start putting it back together, you tape it back together. Nope, still broken. I didn't prepare very well. I didn't bring the tape. But guys, my point is at no point in time, even when I rip this in half, did its values change. So why are you telling yourself and letting yourself believe that your value has changed because of your past, because of something that's happened, because of your age, because of the way you look, because of the way you dress? Why would you let that change your value? I just ripped that in half and y'all told me it was worth the same thing. So when you feel like you're getting beat up or you're getting ripped in half, you're still worth the same thing because that comes from inside. It doesn't come from the crap happening around you. Right? I hope that sunk in because I had to rip that $100 bill in half to make my point. Okay, so last slide here, guys. So no one is you, and that is your power. Y'all have to remember that. Nobody is you, and that is your power. We were talking to a class yesterday evening at TMCC, and Ruben went with us. And he spoke up and said, the best thing that I've done, because a student asked him, he said, the best thing that I've done has been myself. I've been authentic. I haven't tried to be somebody else. That was a really proud big sister moment for me right there when he said that, because I was like, that's why he's good. That's why he's successful. That's why he's having success. He's not trying to be somebody else. He knows his value. And guys, y'all can take this right into your business when you're trying to negotiate your compensation and everything. Know your value and don't be afraid of it. Know your value. Know what you bring to the table and own it. Okay, so when you guys leave here today, I want you to start operating from your worth, not for your worth. You don't need to go prove it to anybody. You're already that person. Don't go prove it. Operate from that area. Okay? You're already enough, guys. You're already enough. All right? So next time you start feeling like you're not, remember that I stood up here and I ripped this $100 bill in half to prove to you guys that your value does not change. Okay?